Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another backstage interview for the Metals Investor Forum. It's nice to see representation from Brigadier Gold here today. Brigadier is a new entrant to the Metals Investor Forum. It's a company that I just invested in and started following in the portfolio in the last few months, and that's because the story has really just happened in the last few months. And that's sort of what I want to focus on here with Ranjeet, who's on the call with me. He's the CEO of Brigadier. Ranjeet, let's just jump through this story that's happened so quickly. So, go backwards a few months. You didn't even have a project. So let's start there.
Well, we're in month 5. So 5 months ago, we had Brigadier Gold, a shell, no asset, nothing to do. And we were doing due diligence on, let's say 100, then down to 10 projects. 5 months ago, we signed our deal to acquire 100% of Picachos. We announced that. And the next thing you do is you go look for financing, generally road shows and close a placement. But within 24 hours, we had $3.5 million of money lined up and closing on. So that happened extremely fast. Announcement of acquisition, next day placement, next day oversubscribed. The asset has great infrastructure. The person we did the deal with, Michelle, is the owner. She has 10 years experience on it. So we actually bought what's a drill ready target. The level of information she had gave all of our technical people a lot of comfort. Let's go drilling. Your targets are good enough for us. We don't need to do any mapping or sampling or anything. And she had all the equipment down there, the bulldozers, the tractors, and she had the permits socially, the permits with major drilling. And next thing you know, we're moving towards drilling. All we did was set up the camp, get the water lines refreshed, communications. And the first thing we did on site was pretty much start drilling and some mapping. So it's moved extremely fast to do an option agreement for 100% on a drill ready target, have the drills turning and be able to start announcing results this quick. I've been in business for 25 years. I've never seen anything move this quick.
I mean, talking just about that, it is very fast. And there's a couple of things there that you've pointed to for why that's possible. One is certainly Michelle, who, like you say, owned this land package for 10 years, worked it, did some small scale mining so that she could, cover the costs of maintaining it. But she has been sort of preparing for this day for 10 years. She's a very good geologist and she's been preparing for this day. So she really did all the work. So you didn't just buy a project, you bought sort of 10 years of attention.
Oh, 100%. She's Canadian and I'm Canadian. So it made the deal, it moved much quicker than, say, a foreign owner, not understanding who they were and whatnot. But she was a qualified person. She actually did the QP report on Vizsla, and she's quite well known. So we were able to do due diligence on each other very quickly.
Right.
And yes, she maintained the asset. She kept all the permits in place. She kept everything up and functioning. But most importantly is she used state-of-the-art technology in her database. So when we said, show us what you have, Michelle, why do you think it's there? Generally, they'll get sent a bunch of reports with 10 or 15 years dated back, and then more recent ones and more recent ones. She threw up a 3D model and goes, this is what I think it looks like, spun it around on us. We go, wow. And it was just an incredible, her level of detail in the packaging of the technical information. So we were good to go as soon as she was.
I mean, that's amazing. Yes, like you say, you usually get a messy basket of numbers, and you have to spend the first 6 months or more organizing those numbers, creating a model and figuring out what to do. But not only did she have the number, then she came on board to direct the program. So that's fantastic. And then you also mentioned Vizsla, which is another component in the story, which is just that you're in an area where obviously Vizsla and GR Silver, who's the other side of you, have both attracted a lot of attention. So that, I'm sure, played a role in pulling so much interest into your financing so quickly. Do you think sort of that area play idea, or just people being interested in this part of Mexico?
Most definitely. And again, we'll talk timeline. I was not overly familiar with Vizsla or GR Silver when I was reviewing the information with our technical people. At the later stages, I became aware of Vizsla. I go, oh, it's kind of nice to have a Canadian junior making a little bit of noise and having some good success down there. But when we announced the acquisition on, I believe it was, we'll call it a Monday, on Tuesday morning, Vizsla comes out with incredible drill results and goes through the roof. The very next day, they closed I believe it's a $20 million bought deal financing from Eric Sprott.
Yeah, it was big.
So our timing was just incredible to enter what we thought was a good area based on the asset and nice Canadian neighbors, to being in really, I believe, the hottest province in the world right now for Canadian juniors.
And then the story continues in terms of pace, because you have just now put out your first sort of results news release. You don't have any numbers back. No, numbers are taking a long time from Assay Labs, so fair enough. But you started drilling only a few weeks ago, and you just put out a news release saying you hit what you hoped to hit visually, right?
Yes, we did. I encourage all the readers to go to the website and have a good look at the technical information in that press release. But we are targeting the San Agustín Vein at depth. And when you're targeting a vein, unlike a porphyry, you kind of know when you hit. So Michelle had the drill plan all laid out, and on hole number 1, 65 meters below the San Agustín high-grade gold mine, we hit our target vein. 5+ meters of gold and silver. The logging of the core shows it's gold and silver. There's free gold, which you can read in our press release of how we worded how we saw it. It's all compliant in the press release. And as well as some XRF guns, which give you an idea of what's going on. But all that will come to fruition with laboratory assays. So we're very happy with hitting the vein. We'll now go on to hole number 2 underneath that hole number 1. The core has been sent to the lab, and we'll have assays. Let's talk 3 to 4 weeks from now. But it's very, very encouraging.
Fantastic. Well, you kind of couldn't ask for more in 5 months of storyline. So all I can ask is that you make the next 5 months as interesting. Okay.
Oh, most definitely. I think the next 2 months are going to be very interesting, because if our assays come back with what we want and with what we hope it's going to be, it is a very popular area. You can see with our neighbors and who they're attracting as resource investors and maybe potential project partners. So things will move fast if we get what we're looking for.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for taking the time to run through the story. And I certainly look forward to keeping up with the news over the next little while.
Thank you, Gwen.